See, now do you understand why he doesn't play? That's kind of weak. That's not why he doesn't play. You're the most stubborn human beings I've ever met in my life. Jonathan's skill set doesn't pair perfectly with what the Warriors have found. Where are you getting this thought? I appreciate you and our audience and our surroundings for being able to, even though we disagree a lot, appreciate the nuance of the Jonathan Kuminga situation, because there are a ton of national NBA writers who I believe are grabbing clips of Jonathan driving to the hoop last night and going, see, that's why he doesn't play. Don't be a jerk. Don't do that. Don't have this kid go through what has probably been the most difficult professional 3 weeks of his life and get totally put on the shelf. And then when he comes in, I'm not saying he met the moment last night at all, but if he's going to come in and take one bad drive to the hoop and then grab the clip and put it all over social media and go, see, now do you understand why he doesn't play? That's kind of weak. And by the way, that's not why he doesn't play. That's not why he doesn't play. Have you ever heard Steve Kerr come on this show and we're asking him about Jonathan Kuminga and Steve goes, well, he doesn't play because when he drives the hoop, he sucks.
Right.
No. Jonathan's skill set doesn't pair perfectly with what the Warriors have found as far as a rotation and a lineup that really does work. That's all that's going on here. And so there's just a lot of cherry picking going on, which I get. I get it. It's the playoffs. It's social media. I understand. But don't do that.
No, and you are allowed to do that, but sure. I do think that it's kind of a weak sauce take. And the guy had a 12-day break where he didn't play any basketball other than scrimmaging. And I know he had some great comments yesterday after the game talking about how he stays sharp and stays focused and the rest of it. So his first action after Jimmy gets hurt, they run a screen roll, and he dives to the hoop, and he gets the ball back from Steph, and he goes up with the left hand, and it's a layup, and it's contested, and, well, he barely even got it above the rim. He didn't even get it above the rim, and it was a miss, and it's like, oh, boy, Kuminga. Well, it had been 12 days since he actually played an NBA game, so you got to give the guy, I will anyway, the grace to kind of warm in to the game, and he knocked down a couple of threes. He was 4 of 12, and he was all right. If you want to rank like all the Warriors who played,
he was fine.
He was not the best and he was not the worst.
No, nobody.
He was fine.
Nobody did great. Nobody did great.
Right. For the most part, right?
You know what I mean? I'll take Quentin Post's shooting, but Quentin Post also, he gets so cooked on things on the other end of the floor so often. He just gets lured into things. Like I would love for Quentin. Quentin needs to get a crash course on how to not have a veteran draw a foul on you. It's just every time. And he always has that look on his face like, God, I got God again. Yes, you did. And I get it. Look, he's a rookie. So, it's going to happen. But, yeah, for me, you can have the opinion. Just don't cherry pick it in that sort of a way. Now, the flip side of it, some of you Kuminga people, and I'm sorry to call you that, some of you Kuminga people have just, like, you're the most stubborn human beings I've ever met in my life. I don't know, like some of you came out of yesterday and you're like, see, they're going to need him. They're going to need him no matter if Jimmy plays or not. Where are you getting this thought? Why? What is it that you're not understanding? This has been explained to you by the team ad nauseum for 3 weeks. So if you again, you're allowed to have your opinion, but good Lord, you're stubborn. Now the Warriors they're going to need Kuminga's athleticism in this series. What did you see? What athleticism did he show that changed the basketball game?
He got to the basket a handful of times, and he made about half of them. Half the layups that he attempted, he actually made.
And then the other ones went over the backboard.
Well, the one did. Yeah, the one did. Yeah. And the one I was referencing, his first shot, which didn't even get above the cylinder. And if you think about all the things that he does well, and if one of them, you'll grant me, just for the conversation, is going to the basket and finishing, Jimmy Butler does that better.
Yep.
So what else does Jonathan do really well that isn't duplicated by either Jimmy Butler or someone else? And the answer is not a thing. There are better passers, there's better three-point shooters, there's better defenders, there's better ISO players, and there's better finishers. So all the things that he does well, if Jimmy is healthy and playing, Jimmy does about 90% of those things, and that's why he's not been in the rotation. Now, if Jimmy Butler is hobbled or compromised or not available at all, well, then yeah, you're going to need Jonathan, and you're going to need him to play better than he played. He played okay, but if you're going to beat Houston in Game 3 without Jimmy Butler and Kuminga's going to play 26 minutes, you're going to need him to be better than he was last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's this. Steph Curry literally said that Kuminga will be needed whether Jimmy plays or not. So there's that. I mean, this is why I came at Steiny and Goo. What, like, do you guys not get what professionals say to a microphone? They're not going to rip their teammate. He's their teammate. Just because Steph said, yeah, no, I don't have any problem with the physicality in this series, doesn't mean that Steph doesn't have a problem with the physicality in the series. Steph is not going to come out and be like, well, we do need Jonathan if Jimmy can't play. But if Jimmy plays, we don't. They're like, that's not how you handle the media. These guys are seasoned pros. They're going to say whatever keeps them in their best position to succeed. Their best position to succeed is A, don't sound like you're whining and complaining. Don't let the Rockets see you sweat like that. And their best position is to keep Jonathan in as best of a positive frame of mind as they can through this situation, which is not easy.
And that's what Steve Kerr has said all along about Jonathan Kuminga. And Kuminga even said that himself in the post game. Like, he was asked about how do you stay ready and what do you do to stay ready? And it's like, well, I go out there and I work and I scrimmage when I can and I play. And of course I stay ready because you never know in this league. And Steve Kerr said it to us earlier in the week about Jonathan and staying ready. And they've imparted that message. And unfortunately, when Jimmy Butler gets hurt like that, now you need Jonathan Kuminga. And if you hadn't been preparing him and making sure that he was ready and staying ready and all the rest of it, well, then you've got no hope. But Kuminga clearly had been staying ready. And so when he got on the floor last night in the first quarter, he went out there and he was ready to go.
I look, that's part of it. He's still a 22-year-old player, still a little bit short on minutes considering he's a lottery pick. But also someone who has not picked up what some of the coaches have wanted him to do as quickly as they would like. I think both of those statements are fair.